And hello everyone, and welcome to our FarmVille2 Country Escape, live with Scott and Jennilee. We are looking at a title screen. There we are. Jennilee, hopefully you're here. Jennilee, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Scott.
Awesome. It's so nice for you to be with me again here tonight. And from what I understand, your job last week was actually called a Mariner Net Specialist.
Yes.
So what the heck is that?
I get to inspect all the nets and then help place them out in the water.
Okay, so I'm just going to open up one of my prizes here, and I'm going to click on my nets. So there's 3 different kinds of nets. There's the gold. I'm assuming this is silver and bronze. Is that what they are? 3 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
So why does the gold net catch the fish in 5 seconds versus the silver or the bronze net?
That's easy. It's shiny.
Oh, sparkles?
Yeah.
So the sparkles good. And then the silver one is just not as sparkly, I guess?
Right. And then the bronze one, I mean, they barely even see that one, so it takes a long time.
Gotcha. And do we know exactly... this is kind of maybe a true question as opposed to a fake FarmVille new employee question, but do we know exactly if there's better chances of getting stuff with the different nets, or are they kind of all the same randomness?
You would think that the 5-second one would have the better items, I guess, because you can't buy a gold one or silver unless you use your... What are they, the stamps?
That's true.
You can't buy them with money, but you can buy the bronze ones.
Right. So speaking of that, that's a great question that we would like to have answered at some point, right? To find that
Absolutely.
out. I mean, it may not...
write that down on our list.
So I think Anne is here, and I know we're kind of getting off of the the whole usual intro we do, but I think Anne is here, and she's going to be writing down questions, which we'll get into in a few minutes. Anyways, without further ado, I think we're going to go straight into the newsreel video. So the news is playing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And then we'll announce the watchers after.
There's a lot of people.
Good. All right, everyone. And joining me high above the sky, after I can find my sound effects for my helicopter sound, is Jennilee. Jennilee, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Scott. Can you hear me?
I definitely can hear you tonight. How is the
Good.
traffic looking from up in the sky?
Not too crazy, but I do have a couple reports.
Go ahead.
So the first one, I actually got this report from you. It's from someone named B. Lisa. She says, I can no longer do Eddy or Mariner orders or fertilize my friends' farms. Just says they will be available in over 300 days. Didn't realize my county fair points last time around. Or didn't receive my county fair points last time around. Can no longer clone and help my co-op. And now there's another glitch where people can't join a co-op. I played this game since. She's saying it's ridiculous.
And that is the most epic, not the most epic as in that's awesome, that is the most amount of problems, I think, in one single post I've ever seen, and that's why I sent it to you. So B, if you're here, I'm really sorry that you're experiencing all these problems. All I can suggest is send another ticket in, I guess, and see what happens.
From the sound of it, I would think time travel, so I don't think Zynga's going to help that one.
Yeah, that one with the 200 days, it sounds like a time travel issue. Okay, cool. Did you have some more?
I do. The next one is from Carolyn. She says she's been having problems with her games. Her co-op board is so slow she can't even buy anything. She also mentioned that her co-op door is open for new members. And I think I actually seen something in chat about people talking about this, so we might want to bring it up later.
Sure, you'll have to remind me because my mind is gonna be so blown away after this episode. It's not even gonna be funny.
Okay.
All right, are you coming back to the farm?
I'm not done yet.
Okay, keep going then.
The next one is from Liz. She says, has anybody else had issues with missing keys? Had 30 go missing on Monday. Emailed Zynga, and she hasn't gotten anything.
Huh.
They said that she tried to buy a boost. She says she hasn't bought a boost.
Interesting. I wonder how that will turn out. Because if she... Interesting. Liz will have to keep us updated on that.
Yes, I have one more.
Okay.
Kazzy writes, and I actually had this problem yesterday, and I was telling you about it. I have been able to update, and then all of a sudden her money, key, and speed color are gone.
Interesting.
And I had that problem too, where all my numbers kind of disappeared. You could kind of see them, but not really.
Anne and I both had that happen. Mine lasted for about an hour. I think Anne's lasted for probably a couple hours, and I've seen a widespread amount of people posting that same image.
That's crazy.
Okay, back to the farm now?
Yes.
All right. All right, so I think I have successfully turned on the background music, shut off the helicopter sound, deleted all the slides I had up, so we're good to go. So,
good.
Do you want me to get right into the major news of the week?
No, can we first say hi to everybody?
Yeah, we can. Sorry. Turn off that slide.
That's okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself, people. I'm really excited. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to name a bunch of people because then there's also a lot of talk involved that we can talk about later as well.
Sure, and I'm going to let you name everybody before I say welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. So we have Bubbly, Brenda, Joni, Lorraine, Marilyn, Sarah, Frank, of course, Angela, Chantel, did I say Brenda? Hank Dragon, Joni, Lori, Anne, Jean, Cindy, I think I said Cindy already. Anne is here. I already said that. Oh my goodness. There's so much chat.
Okay.
Liz is with us as well.
All right. Hello, everybody. Usually I say hello to each and every one of you, but tonight, just to save time, we're just going to say welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on our live stream. Jennilee, thank you for coming as well. And did you want to read any chat, or should we get straight into major news?
Let me see. We've already missed so much. People have been very chatty.
Well, let's read it. Let's read a few of them and see how it goes through.
Okay, so I think the first question or comment towards us, because there was a lot of chatting back and forth. I see Frank is asking how people are doing in the event.
Cool. I'll talk about my event in a little bit. I do have my results coming up, I guess I'd say.
Okay. Joni is asking, is anyone else having issues with people being able to join when you unlock co-op? And that's the one that I was telling you that I had just read.
Right.
I don't think we've had any issues.
Right. Chatters, if you have, let us know.
Absolutely. Lorraine said she hasn't opened her door lately, so she's not sure.
Hey, Lorraine, nice to see you. Hope your husband's doing good.
Yes.
Hope your motorhome's going well. Sorry, we promised not to do that, but it's Lorraine, so we kind of have to say hi.
Right.
Okay, sorry, guys.
And then Bubbly says I can't claim rewards from my co-op. I think we were experiencing that the last couple weeks as well.
Yeah, that's right. And then sometimes you get a whole bunch of rewards from the co-op.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
From the county fair, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna click. I'm clicking on mine on the screen while we're talking about it. Keep going now.
That was from Bubbly, and then Lorraine and Joni were trying to help Bubbly out, asking if that person, I don't know if Hank, a male, I'm guessing, if he's sent tickets to Zynga. Haven't heard anything back yet. Okay. Okay,
cool. So, chatters, if you have questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and chat. We have a lot to talk about tonight, so we're going to try to get through as much chat as we can. If we don't see your chat right away, we will try our best to get to it. We don't mean to not display anybody's or read anybody's chats. Right, Jennilee?
Yes.
Okay, now is the time for major news.
Hold on. Lorraine says, wow, Scott, you are so excited. You're skipping it so slow down, but yes, we can do major news.
I'm surprised I'm not stuttering. It's just hilarious. It's not hilarious. It's so you're good for major news. Because I keep bringing on the slide, putting the slide back, putting on the slide back. Okay, well, this major news follows into what happened last week with last week's major news. Only this week, there's been conversations that I've had with Zynga over the phone, multiple conversations, as well as it feels like we're just chatting like continually throughout the day. So it's absolutely, unbelievably the most amazing thing I've ever had happen in my life. And this is how I talk to him. So you can imagine he's kind of like, well, he actually appreciates it, I guess, and stuff. But anyways, so we have a whole bunch of news on that, on how the communication, on how Zynga wants to set it up with us, and what we need to get from you guys, from the chatters and the watchers and all that stuff, to get information from us to him, and then for him to get the information from him to us. Now, originally, a few days ago, I posted the live stream information, and I posted that we were going to have some information on the cloning glitch. not the glitch, the cloning experiment, I guess, that they're doing for multiple people are affected. I have a bunch of information that he did give me that is public information that anybody contacting support could ask and get. The nice thing with him is I can send him a whole ton of questions. He answers them all in a nice, easy to read way, and I can share that with you guys. The issue that we have, or not an issue, but what has happened since then is he's had a meeting with his manager just to make sure that everything's kosher. And originally, Lad from Zynga originally he thought that the information he gave me, which is the same information a VIP could get, would be okay for me just to release over the live stream. So for example, if a VIP has a question about something and emails the VIPs would answer, and that information could be shared with that person's friends. But because it's going to be released over our live stream, and we have a much broader audience, a lot more people listen to us, Zynga really wants to make sure that they word their words correctly and there's no misunderstandings. And so what we're going to do is we're going to compile questions. So tonight, guys, on chat, if you have questions, we have Anne that's going to write them all down, and we're going to send everything to Zynga, and over the next several weeks, we're going to release all this information we get back. So any question you want to ask is fine. Keep in mind that if it's not available to the public or not available to be released due to privacy issues, they won't release it. As well as if it's something in planning stages, I don't think we're going to get that information. But they do have a lot of information. Just to give you an example, the questions I asked on cloning were how many people are affected? Is there more than one? Is there people still being affected? Are they adding more people to the experiment? What's their view on cloning? All of that stuff, guys, I have answers to. And so I can't tell you, unfortunately, right now because it's going through the PR department. So for next week's show, we should have all of those answers back, I hope, from those cloning questions. And any other cloning questions you guys have, put them down in chat. We'll write them down and send them in. So we're going to send a whole pile of cloning questions. There's probably going to be some questions that they won't answer when it comes to cloning. They're probably going to be pretty obvious, like... I guess if it's a gameplay or mechanic question, they'll try to answer it, but there's stuff that they're going to say, I'm sorry, we can't answer. Anyways, that's kind of how it's going to work. So we need to compile questions, as I mentioned. Jennilee, I'm sure there may be some questions already coming. And then once we get them back, they will be in an official form. We're going to be getting an official answer form, whether it's in a messenger, in a Word document, which I'll bring up on the screen, and we will share it with everybody. So it's just amazing. Like, it's totally unbelievable. But anyways, I'm excited.
I love that you're excited. And Anne already said that she is making the list.
Good stuff. So, and if you guys have questions after the stream is over, or if you think of something later on, we do have our live stream group, which most of you are a part of, that you can certainly post anything you want on there for questions. Now, there was some stuff already posted, and I was going to go through some housekeeping that are suggestions. For example, there's a really good suggestion that Zynga makes a separate area to store nails and padlocks and that sort of stuff. Any suggestions like that, we can certainly send along, but we're probably not going to get an answer back. It's just a suggestion, and anybody could send that through on the same channel. But I promise we will send the suggestions through so that we know that they are getting received. Because lots of times people think that they send stuff in, but it doesn't get received. Anyways. I hope I did a good job explaining that as best I could. But I do have some information that sorry, I guess there will be times, again, I'm trying to talk as fast as possible but as slow as possible. There'll be times that he can give us information on the fly. For example, the bingo event that is being released, I have a date, a projected date. He said that it'll either happen on that day or the next day, but that is basically the date that bingo will come to every single FarmVille player, regardless if they're a VIP, regardless if they're not a VIP. I know that I've seen some screenshots from some VIPs on certain groups that say that they have to reply with a code and then they get something special. That is something completely different that VIPs get. Us regular folk do not get that, but it doesn't mean that that they're only getting bingo. Everybody's getting bingo, and we'll discuss that in a little bit once we catch up on chat when we're getting it. So those stuff like that, the date that it's being released, he's giving to us. He's also said that he will try to give us information on occasion that will be before the public get it. So for example, the fact that bingo was being released, now this is just me guessing, but this is kind of what I took out of the conversation. If there's something that's going to happen that is really public knowledge within Zynga or okay to release, but the general public doesn't know about it, at certain points we will get that for our live stream. So that is going to be awesome too. And which means for Jennilee is that if we get something wicked on a Monday that's coming out on the Wednesday, we're going to have to do an emergency mini stream.
I love it.
All right. Okay, I am done talking for a few minutes, Jennilee. You got to catch me up on some stuff.
Well, some of our regulars have pointed out, and I think you'll love this too, we are over 30 watchers right now.
OMG, guys, 30 watchers. Thank you so much for coming.
That's awesome. So awesome.
So awesome. That's a record. By far, that is a record. 30 watchers. Is I think even a record for when I was streaming on that larger Facebook group. But anyways, that's awesome.
Also, they're asking, is there going to be any cloning answers tonight?
Okay, so unfortunately tonight, the questions that I asked, I can't give you. Originally, he approved me to give it on the stream, and since then, his manager says that the questions have to go to their PR department to be released in a proper way. I do have an answer on the bingo information on when we're getting bingo, so stay tuned for that. But the stuff on cloning, what he gave me to tell, he's since told me to hold off just for a little bit so we can get PR to answer. And again, it was questions like, what's their view on cloning? And he answered me as he would a VIP, so anybody can get this information, but he answered me directly and very concisely and point-to-point answers. So am I worried about cloning? No. That's the long and the short of it. So maybe I given out too much than I should, but guys, I'm not worried for sure. From the conversations I've had with my own tickets that I've had to Zynga, I'm not terribly worried that stuff will happen, but I have to wait to give you the official releases. Sorry, go ahead. My arms are waving.
Fine.
My arms are waving. So my farm is moving now because when I'm talking to you guys, I was so excited my arms are waving. So I do again apologize for not having the cloning information that I originally posted. That was only up for like literally 20 minutes before I removed it and just posted information about how it's going to work going forward. So hopefully next week we will have cloning information that I can share.
Summer says that's why we came, for cloning answers.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Summer. So, Summer, you're going to have to tune in next week, and I do apologize again. The only mention I had on cloning questions was that original post that I had up on YouTube as well as Facebook, and I took it down very, very quickly after I posted it and just put that I had information on how the contact will work. So I apologize if there's people that are here that want to hear about the answers from cloning. I do have the bingo information, but I don't have the cloning information tonight. Are we down
Summer wants to know also, how come everyone can't be a VIP?
I don't know, and that is a question that we're going to write down, Anne, and we're going to send that in. And I know it's based, I'm not sure what it's based on, but I have a feeling it's based on the money that you give them. So if you spend real money on keys and such, that is how I think they add you. I'm not sure, but that's a super great question to ask them. And that answer, I'm sure we'll get some information on. I mean, how do you become a VIP? We should have some criteria on to do that. And I don't know the perks either, guys. I'm not a VIP, so I don't know what specifically they're getting. All I'm going on is what other VIPs have told me, as well as what they've posted on sites that have VIPs post their own information or emails or whatnot.
So you probably answered Frank's question. He was asking, how much do VIPs pay?
And I don't know. I've asked some people in our co-op, and it's not a huge amount. So I don't know what their criteria is, and I don't even know what the perks are. I have no idea. I know that when Nikki was invited, there was a pop-up that said she got 30 keys or something, right?
I did see that, yes.
But as far as what else they get, I have really no idea. I think they get their own email contact to email an actual person, as opposed to the regular tickets that we all send in that talk to the regular support people. So again, the kind of questions, actually, we should bring up do you have access, Jennilee, to bring up our spreadsheet that we made with our initial questions?
It's on my phone.
Maybe not. But we have started compiling questions that we want to ask, and we're asking everything like, let's talk about leaderboards, for example. We're going to ask what happens, like when does a player know that someone's been removed from a leaderboard? Is that leaderboard person going to stay there until the end, and the person that gets in 6th place, actually I have a slide, let me bring up a slide to talk about leaderboards really quick. We had a person on one of the groups post a slide from leaderboards. They finished in 6th place, but they still received the cat. So here's the post from Angela. She says that she had 5 in her leaderboard event that had their points to monstrous 3 figures. Did it early in the event, another with a day to go, and another in the last few minutes. She was running 5th place until the last one, which kicked me into 6th place. It didn't work for them, as Zynga still gave me the cat, and I hope the others in 7, 8, and other places got their cat as well. So the question we're going to ask Zynga is, do these players that hack their score just get eliminated and the person in 8th place still gets their prize? Or the person who's in 8th place, who can clearly see that 1 billion points isn't attainable, still gets their prize if they contact support? Those are the kinds of questions we want to ask, because nobody knows. And that sort of information I'm sure they can give us.
Ursula was asking a question about that yesterday too, and she wanted me to bring it up today. She said that when she logs on and she checks her leaderboard, she'll see different names.
Right. So does that mean that people are getting removed due to, you know, some sort of algorithm that their programs are running? And this is what we want to know as well. We want to know, how does Zynga detect cheaters and what do they do with them? So that's the question we're going to ask. We're going to specifically say what happens, and they will tell us what happens, whether it's a human that goes through and looks, whether it's someone who sits down and scours through Facebook groups, whether it's their computers or whatever that look through people's barns. I have no idea, but that's the thing we can find out. That's the whole benefit. And what they're getting out of this as well, guys, is that they're getting our information. Last week we posted a glitch that Jennilee and I were having on our let me just go see if it's still there, on our board with our people, right? And we were scrolling through in the co-op. Hopefully it opens. Here we go. So it's still glitchy. So you can see how I'm scrolling up and the names are all weird like that. So after the live stream, when I talked to Zynga on the phone, or when I talked to Lad on the phone, he said this sort of glitch would take forever to get to our offices. And the reason it is because people won't usually complain about this. This is still working. It's just weird looking. And so when he saw this, he immediately took the information and sent it to his people that he sends stuff to. So that is what they get out of this. They get out of the information that we can bring them and the suggestions that we can give them, and we kind of filter it really well. So we're not giving them all kinds of random stuff. Anyways.
Correct.
Oh, I was like, where did you go? And I did replace my headphone cord tonight, so it's not me. If you're silent, it's you being silent.
Loretta said she has some information on cloning and wanted to share it. She
Perfect.
said, I will tell you, please don't worry. It can't happen overnight, but please believe me, they listen to all of our concerns. Keep sending your thoughts to Zynga. It helps.
So now we don't know if, as you said, Loretta?
Yes.
Right. So Loretta may or may not be a VIP, but she has clearly identified that don't worry, send it in. So she's suggesting that you guys send a ticket in if you're having that cloning issue. We're not suggesting that. I don't really know what we should suggest, how everybody should do, what they should do. I know that if it was me and I was affected, I would be writing an email almost every day wondering what's going on with it. So that's what I would do. But as far as whether you guys should do, I don't know the answer to that. Everybody would have to make their own decision. Anyways, continue.
Well, more talk about the floating text like you were just showing. Right. Seems a lot of people are having that issue.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe they would have caught it earlier too. But what Lad does is he says to me that he rides home on the bus in the morning and listens to the live stream the next day. So everybody can say hi to Lad because he'll be listening tomorrow, maybe.
Hi, Lad.
Yay, hi, Lad. I have a picture of him still. Let's bring him up. This is the first picture that Lad sent me. On the bus, I said, you have to send me a selfie because I don't necessarily believe you that you're a VIP or a VIP rep or a Zynga rep or anything. So he took a picture of me with his Slots shirt, which is a Zynga game, and then I compared his picture to the Zynga YouTube channel, which he's got videos of talking in his soccer uniform, and it's the same guy. And then since then we've been speaking on the phone, and it sounds like the same guy. And he phoned me, actually. I can bring up my my phone call. information. I think I put it on here. Lads calling. So here's him phoning me from San Francisco, United States. Actually, all of the calls from Zynga come from San Francisco, but I think he's in a different city, just routes it through San Francisco. Anyways, so that was the call I got. And again, he's called me again yesterday, and we spoke for a good long time too. But I was super excited when he called. So it's all great news for us, guys. And I apologize. These things do take a while to get set up. The last thing that I want to do is somehow screw this up. So, for example, by me just saying stuff or him just saying stuff and me repeating it, and if he gets in trouble for that, this whole thing, you know, could potentially get shut down. And just so you guys know, is we have some major things in the works. Like from our conversations, there's going to be hopefully more stuff that's happening just besides the information we're giving Zynga through the live stream to you guys. But anyways, I have some more slides if you want, or you can read chat.
Everyone's saying hi, lad.
Hi, lad. All right, well, he can maybe see the live chat on the lad. Yeah.
Oh, wait, in case he can't. Joni, Lorraine, Anne, Cindy, Jean, Paula, Sarah are all saying hi to you, lad.
There you go. Nice. We all love you so much for reaching out and making this happen. This was something that they did to us. He contacted me. I have sent tons of emails and requests in different ways before, but this was them contacting me. You know, the words he used was, "I find the live stream fascinating and I want to talk to you about it." And so, anyways, it's been a whirlwind of a week. We had a bunch of stuff that we were going to talk about on the stream that he approved, and then yesterday when we came back on, we had to make some changes. But the information is just coming. It's just a little slower than we wanted it. Oh, speaking of which, so Lad's manager has set up a communication to the PR department. So basically, when we give a Lad a question or questions, it can go straight to PR throughout going through management. And PR has been instructed to reply back to Lad. So that thing was just set up like yesterday between Lad and the PR department at Zynga. So when we send a question, it doesn't go through the normal channels, it's expedited through. So they're really taking this seriously. They're really wanting to communicate back to the players. And I think, you know, they see their questions on their official pages over and over again, and they reply with, you know, the suggestions been taken and whatnot. But this just allows us to give them consistent or concise, specific questions and get specific things back. And, you know, I mean, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that Zynga employees get free breakfast and free lunch. I think I was watching it on a YouTube video. So, I mean, it would be just kind of cool to know what it's like to work for Zynga. So, I mean, those are the kind of questions we can have. So it's kind of like endless, guys, for what we can talk about. Anyways, I'm excited and I'm waving my hands and I'm scrolling my farm endlessly. Let's check if I get my double milk today on my cows. No, not from that guy. Anne does a great job of speed seeding my cows. I have a lot of milk though.
Brenda's leaving. She says good night.
Good night, Brenda. Thanks for coming.
And Jean says, tell Zynga I'll buy keys to increase my barn. I'm maxed out. I do like the idea of separate a barn for locks, nails, and shovels.
Yeah, it's been a popular idea that on the sites that I've seen it on, or on the live stream site where it was posted. And totally what we're going to do, guys, is send in suggestions. So just start firing them on the websites or on the live stream sites. We'll compile them and send them in. We don't know what's going to get answered or how they'll be answered at this point. You know, I'm learning with you guys. All I know is I've got him saying to me that he's going to give us stuff, and I'm telling you that. So, you know, and he's talked to his manager, and his manager has set up this PR communication, and so stuff is happening, but I have no clue. Like next week, guys, if I find out that they say no to every question we ask, I'll apologize and cry on live TV for you, or on live internet for you, because I'll be so sad. But that's not what I'm thinking is going to happen. So just from the communications we've had every day, guys, it's like he wished our live stream well. Right before the live stream, I got a message from him that said, have a great live stream, like from Zynga. So it's amazing. Sorry.
Aw, yeah, that's so sweet.
It is good. I'd bring it up, but then you'd see the name. He kind of wants to remain a little bit anonymous.
That's okay.
I think I have his picture still up. Let's get rid of his picture, because he's probably if he's looking at it still, he's probably self-conscious for the longest time. Also, before I forget, there's so much chat already.
but someone was asking, I think it was Joni maybe, have we heard anything about when the boat races are supposed to start?
Okay, so I know for a fact, because this is information on YouTube from Zynga, that everybody is getting boat races, and I'm sure you've heard this over and over again, but you can bet your top dollar that one of our questions to them will be, do we have a date when boat races is starting? And we might not get an answer, guys, I don't know, but we might get like, you know, it's coming in the next month, or it's going to be here by Christmas, or, you know, we've experienced a major problem and we don't want to roll it out because it's crashing everybody's games. So who knows? What I was thinking too, you know how bring up suggestions about cloning. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say it because if it's not necessarily a good one. Sorry, my brain went on and then it went off. Sorry, guys. Continue on, Jennilee.
I think, let's see. Janine is saying it would be great if we could buy shovels. I need them to increase my barn.
Good suggestion.
Robin says the boat races have started in her co-op.
Well, that's cool. So, who said that? Sorry?
Robin.
And Robin, did they just start recently, or did they start like way back when everybody that first got them? So maybe they are releasing them slowly.
Bubbly says, my peaches and my strawberries used to take 7 hours, but now take 3.
Strawberries and peaches.
Strawberries are what, like normally an hour?
Strawberries
and peaches
are normally an hour. Peaches are, I'm just doing it as we talk here. Oops. Oh, I got bonus lemons. Somebody speed seeded my lemon trees. Peaches take 4 hours. So she's saying they take longer than that?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. I would definitely send a ticket in and ask why.
That's strange.
I haven't heard of other people.
Oh, she says, but now they're taking 3. They used to take 7, but now take 3.
You can upgrade them. So if you upgrade your peach tree using the upgrade with timber, you can see that if I pay 180 timber, I get them in 3 hours 24 minutes. And if level 3 is 2 hours 36 minutes, and level 4 is 50% faster with no watering. I love that. I have that on my 1 lemon tree, guys. Look at, I'll pick my lemons, instant watered, and a bonus lemon. It's so fun. I love it. It's nice. It's my only one that I have. I've been saving my timber up though. I have a lot right now. I got to spend some stuff. I want to spend.
Robin said they started. Sorry.
That's okay. What did Robin say?
Robin said her boat races started this week with the second round of the event.
That is cool. Congratulations. That's so good news. So that's what we want to find out. We want to ask the question, are you guys releasing them slowly? And it sounds like they are. But we can know this. We can just ask the question, have it for the live stream. So anything you guys, like little quirks like this, that's what we wanted to ask, and that's what they'll answer. If we ask a question that's simple and easy for them to answer, that we'll just find interesting, they'll answer it. If you ask them a question about, you know, why do you let cheaters play? Well, I don't know what their answer will be, or if they'll even answer it. But if we ask them about, you know, prize wheel, why does it cost 50 keys to me to unlock a spin? You know, why can't it be cheaper? Maybe they won't answer that either, but I mean, we can ask them stuff. Anyways, continue.
Summer says she's also received the boat races and that it's fun.
Nice, good. And was she just received it as well with the last update?
She didn't say, but Lorraine is asking Robin and Summer, do you have to update again before the races started? We don't have them yet in her co-op either. We don't have them yet either. It's going to be an amazing week for a co-op when they start. It'll be like, guess what? We have it. Let's go. It'll be good. Let's play my video. Let's show how everybody how I did on my event last week. I haven't started my round yet. I'm going to start it live with you guys. But last time, I got. That's not what I wanted to bring up. I know I put it on here. My leaderboard image. Here we go. So I finished third. I had 8,629 points, and the leader had 39,625 points. I played for probably a total of 5 or 6 hours. I didn't use any boosts. I didn't buy any extra. Actually, that's not true. I had the free one that I used that they give you, and that's pretty much it. And then I just cloned with my co-op, and I didn't have a very hard board at all. And I'm going to bring up. This is, I think, the first time I've ever bring up a video of me getting my cat. This is 4 seconds before I received my cat. 1 second. I received my cat. It was weird when I was doing my leaderboard. At one time I logged in and it said my score was -1.
Have you ever had that, Jennilee?
Yes.
You have? And it freaks you out, right?
I think it's just a glitch.
Hey, that said I ranked number 2. That was weird, but I'm sure I ranked number 3. Anyway, there's me claiming my cat. Oh, maybe I did rank number 2. I think I did because there was people that were coming up. That was probably a little bit of an older slide. So has anybody used the cat yet? I'm sure it's just a regular cat, but I'm wondering if anybody has seen any bonuses out of it yet. I haven't experimented.
I stuck the cat in a couple different places. I haven't seen anything special yet.
You stuck the cat in a few places. There we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to get rid of the cat videos. We have the interesting little glitch from that Cindy sent me. I have that up on the screen right now. She just started stage 2 and she posted this image, and it looks like Josie? Is that Jose? How do you say that, Jennilee?
Looks like Jose.
Or Jose, maybe a Jose. Okay, has negative 1,294,000 or million, whatever. So I've never seen that before, where someone starts off in the hole. So we don't know what caused that, but and I don't know if it's still like that. But that was an interesting slide, definitely. That one of our Cindy from one of the groups sent me this week.
That's crazy.
It's weird, eh?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about bingo, because I do have information. Or do you want to catch up on chat?
Did you just A me?
Amy? What do you mean, Amy?
You said A.
Oh, did you hear me say A?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Canadians do say that once in a while. So I guess,
I heard it.
and I didn't notice it. And most Canadians who say it don't really notice it either. That's funny.
We have a few people asking about the Marie boards and why, like, what determines the amount. But I think Lorraine did a good job of explaining. She said if you don't do orders for a few weeks, the numbers will go down.
For sure. And that's a great question to have, though, just to have it confirmed through them, right? So we know that happens, but let's confirm it. Let's just ask the question. Good question. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Let me see what else I got. Recently, Janine says, recently we had a day with infinite speed seed. Wouldn't it be great if we had a limited time to increase our timber so we can upgrade faster? That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Great suggestions. So those, Anne, we'll need to start a suggestion page, and we'll have to put suggestions through as well. Again, they made no promises to do anything other than to answer our questions and listen to us. So, we'll do everything we can, but I just like the fact that we're getting this two-way communication. So good news.
I also got an A from Anne. How's it going, A?
Yes, because Anne is Canadian. Now Frank will do it as well. Cool. Any other Canadians besides Frank and Anne? Of course, Frank and just Anne. And anyways.
I'm trying to remember if we had any more. I think we did.
We may have.
Janine said, I haven't finished my goals on Marie's orders for a few weeks, and my numbers are definitely going down. I've been doing the same thing. I've been doing, not on purpose, but like when I went on my trip, I wasn't doing as many orders, and my numbers have definitely gone down.
That's totally a good way to do it. So those of you on the chat room who don't know, if you want your numbers to drop, you can still do some up, I think, to your personal goal, but as soon as you pass your personal goal of 20, I think it either gives you the same numbers next week or increases them. But if you get below your personal goal, your numbers drop, just like easy peasy like mine. Let's ask for some stuff.
And one more. Joni says bingo is another event, right?
Yes, so bingo is another event. So let's bring up the bingo slide, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and tell everybody when bingo starts, and then we're gonna go from 30 watchers down to 4 because everybody's hanging out waiting for bingo. Okay, so now from what I understand, and there might be some players in the chat room who can better explain bingo, because I don't know specifically. I've never had it, or I've had it and didn't play it, or I had it and don't remember it. But you basically either craft stuff or make things, and you fill in a card, just like regular bingo. And then the more stuff you have filled in, the better your prize is. So I don't know specifically if that means if you go for like 2 lines or 3 lines or 4 corners or X or whatever. I have no idea. But basically, it's a game that they had a couple years ago. I think it's been 2 years since they've had it. And there's been an outcry of people on the forums and on their Facebook page that have said, bring back bingo. And so I don't know why they haven't brought it back. That's another great question for Anne to write down, is why do we go from leaderboard to 30-day farmhand, 30-day farmhand, leaderboard, 30-day farmhand, 30-day farmhand, leaderboard? Like, how is their schedule picked, or what's it based on? They might have been bringing bingo back because bingo was so popular. Like, this is me speculating again because I haven't asked the question and haven't got an answer, but maybe because it's very popular and people will start playing the game again if they can play bingo. I don't know. It's cool though because it's something different. It's something that a lot of us have never seen. Are you ready for the date?
Ready for the date.
That we're getting it? All right. Yep. So today is the 12th of July. And the official day that bingo is going to start, or is his words are, I'll read you what I asked. I said, don't suppose the bingo release date has been made public yet, ? And he replies with the date. He says it's going to be released on the 18th of July, which is next Wednesday. And that's typically when events get released, is on Wednesdays, right? Jennilee?
Yes.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's next week. And he said that I was like, WOAOAH, whoa, can I release this to the live stream? And he's like, sure, ! It's right around that day. Could be a day after, depending. So it's going to be either the 18th or the 19th from what he is telling me. Again, this is directly from him. And if the information is wrong, it's not my fault. I am just replying from what they're telling me. So that is awesome news. Everybody will get bingo. There was some confusion, like, as I mentioned, about some people thinking it was only for VIPs, but definitely everybody is getting bingo. Bum, bum, bum.
I love it. I'm excited.
It's really good. I have my I think I just played it. I think I played a drum beat. Anyways, maybe I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna close bingo off my screen. Okay.
Chantel says, hope they haven't changed bingo, but it's a fair event because you get to keep your score, i.e. no one can kick you out of your place, whatever that is. You keep what you earn as the game moves along.
That's what I heard. It sounds very interesting. And does she remember if there was a permanent farmhand or a temporary farmhand as a prize at the end, or was there even a farmhand at the end? Because that's a kind of a question we have to. I mean, we'll find this out when it starts. We don't need to ask, tell me about bingo now, because it's just going to start for everybody on the same day, right? Who knows? Mm-hmm. We might want to ask it. We could ask it, see what they say. But anyways.
But Paula does say bingo, 1, 2, 3 lines across, all give points incrementally increasing.
Interesting. Huh. So, anyways, we're going to have to wait and try it. But from what I hear, it's fun. It's something different. People love it. People wanted it. People are excited to get it. Hey, did you know that you could have had... There's a contest that they ran on their site that you can make your own face in FarmVille on their page. Did you see this, Jennilee?
No.
Okay, so let me go to it really quick. It was on the FarmVille2 site. And I got to close all of this stuff up here. Mark these all as red. All right, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So it's on the FarmVille official site, guys, and if you scroll down, you'll see this picture come right up in a few minutes here, or seconds. Look at this one. Congratulations, Jennilee. So they had 2 contests. They had Jennilee that won the second one, and the first one was won by... I think I can keep scrolling down. There was 2. Oh, here we are. Gina is real. So Gina is real is her Facebook name. So basically there was a contest that you could send in, or all you had to do was tag people, and the people with the most tags would get their own face characterized by Zynga and put in this picture. Like, not in the game, but in this picture. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome. So
congratulations to Gina Israel for winning that one on the first one. And then the second, they did it twice. And I didn't even know they were doing this because I could have tagged a lot of people. That would have been fun. The second one went to Jennilee. So, and then if you search these people, their comments, they're really excited that they get picked. But all you have to do is tag people, and I guess the people that picked the most. And then they also gave away keys as well. Guys, if you're not on this site, go to FarmVille, search FarmVille2. It's got that little square icon box, just like it is on my screen. You don't have to sign up or nothing. They let everybody on, and they have official stuff on here. They talk about all kinds of stuff. This is where we found out that bingo was coming. when they released that first slide. This one, the one I brought up on the screen earlier. Anyways, cool. All right, I have some funny stuff to bring up that Anne did for us this week. Or not really funny, but interesting things. You want to hear about that?
I'm ready.
So you know how on a leaderboard... Actually, let's start my leaderboard. I'm going to start the event live on the screen right now. Let's go. All right, so what's going to happen here? This little guy's going to pull in again and turn it... Oh, I just got to click it. There we are. Okay, so I'm in rank 11. I just started. Let's sell some stuff really quick and see if I can pull into rank 1 or something. Anyways, let's check. So I'm in rank 4 already. Number 1 has 475 points. Okay, so there's a lot of people who think that they have a theory that if you wait to start is no better than if you don't wait to start, and that you're stuck with your group already. So just for me starting right now live with you guys, we have like tons of people with zeros, and we have from 11 up through 1 with points. So I don't know how I was picked, but I'm in an awesome, what looks like to be an awesome board, unless of course it fills with hackers and cheaters later. But right now it's fresh. The people that, it looks like they're fresh new people who just clicked it just like I did. That's what it looks like to me. So I don't know if that's the experience that you guys have had, if you've waited like I did. There's only, how many days left? There's only 2 days, 19 hours left. I did this last time I started it live on the stream on Thursday. I think it started on Wednesday, so it was the day after. And all my people were so mellow. I had one person with brackets, which I don't think works anymore, but they finished on number 1. But yeah, anyways, chatters in the chat room, if you have a different experience, certainly let me know. And what were we going to talk about? We were going to talk about something.
I got a few things real quick.
Oh, yes.
They said from Bingo, it's going to be, well, it was a permanent farmhand.
Right, that's cool. That's awesome.
Without leaderboard. There's no leaderboard.
Yay! Well, yay for lots of people. I love the leaderboards because I would so much rather win a permanent farmhand than a temporary one. That's just me, though.
Anne says you have a nice board.
Oh, yes, that is very super nice. I love it.
And then the other comments I have, Joni says I tried waiting on the second part and they are brutal. Hank said I was in 24th when I started.
Huh.
Paula says she hasn't started yet. Anne said she was in 25th when she started.
Interesting. So, and I don't know if it's because I don't get high scores. Like, I don't sit there and try to pound my score out to get with, like, the, 40, 50, 60,000 points. And it might be, and this is me guessing again, that you're placed, just like with you are when you do Eddie and when you do the Mariner and when you do the County Fair, you're placed, the scores you get are low because you don't do a lot. So I'm wondering if that's the case for me, because they always seem to be low for me, and I've never had somebody with ridiculous amounts of points that go from 0 to like ridiculous amounts, or go from 0 to 100,000 even quickly. But we do have some information. Not information. Anne sent me a spreadsheet. Remember how we talked about last week to do I don't know if we talked about it on the stream or not, but Anne sent me the spreadsheet, and we calculated if you used a gold boost and you sold 10 items per minute, which means, say you had an unlimited amount of stuff or an unlimited amount of keys, and you were able to sell 10 redemptions a minute. So on my screen, if I just close this off for a second here, I'll go to my game, and we have blankets 1, we have cork seats 2, we have, whoops, see now I'm collecting my rewards, so there's a little bit of a pause there, so this is why we said 10 a minute. You could probably click a lot more if you had unlimited everything, but we just said 10 a minute. If you just sat here for 10 a minute for 8 hours a day, what we did was we took these average points, so 90 points right now for that mug. I'm going to go pick my mug because I knew I made some in preparation for the event. I'm in number 1 position, everybody. Look at me go. Blankets and these tarts, there was so many of them. Okay, so I've sold a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to bring Anne's spreadsheet up again. And so what we're assuming is if we played for 8 hours a day, we're going to look over at the column on the very right hand side that says gold boost. If you played for 8 hours a day, selling 10 things per minute, the average points per hour is 28,694. The average points for day is 229,000, and the average of point for 6 days is 1,377,318 points. Now, this is just a quick guesstimation, guys. This isn't like the math on the end of it. There's other factors involved as well, like you could sell more than 10 items per minute. But this is if you sold 10 items a minute for 8 hours a day for 6 days. Your points are 1,000,003, which means when you see those scores that are billions, there's only one way to do that, and unfortunately it's hacking a score. And even if you see millions, like I would be questioning any number remotely over, you know, several 100,000 for sure, right? Isn't that cool, Jennilee?
I agree. That is awesome. Good job, Anne.
And so Anne was making, I think she was working on the spreadsheet on the last stream, and someone asked her about the spreadsheets, and I said, don't ask, because she was trying to figure this out. So what she did was Anne was selling stuff and writing down all the numbers, like Anne does, because she's amazing. So she found out that number. And then actually we have some funny farm chat from Anne as well. So Anne told me that her battery was what she needed. I asked on the farm chat, does anybody have anything they need? And Anne says, more battery life for my devices. And so I put a battery up for Anne, and she says that she's good right now to get the number of keys. I can't have the item in my barn, so I'm making things. And then she says C1 LOL, and then I told her to buy it. So we all know, guys, on the live stream, there's no such thing as a battery in FarmVille. However, I will show you the battery that I made for Anne. I gave her 1 lemon and 1 tin, which combined together create a electronic charge, therefore making her battery. And then she replied after this that her phone miraculously got extra charged. So guys, if you want your phones to last longer, just trade off some stuff, some batteries and some tin. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
I love farm chat, guys. The game, it's so fun to play this game, especially when you have great people in your co-op, because it's fun. Like, you chat and you have a good time, you be silly. It's just a relaxing, fun time. Okay. You go for a little while. Are we down to like 4 watchers now that I released our when bingo's starting? When the bingo's events is starting?
No, we're at 28 watchers.
28 watchers. Wow, guys, thank you so much for all watching. We have a ton of new people here tonight. New people that are here, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll do a quick recap. Zynga has contacted us, and they've agreed to give us information that we can ask for on a weekly or a couple weekly basis. What we'll probably do is send a bunch of questions in and answer them slowly over the next few weeks, so that we're not bogging them down. And we have more stuff in the works as well that we just can't talk about yet, but it's super exciting. I'm gonna burst if it goes through. It's gonna be amazing. But anyways, so that's what we're doing, guys, is that we've brought that up. Anyways, continue, Jennilee, because I'm sure everybody's been here for an hour and they heard that 3 times from me already.
We have people talking about the different places that they're in on the leaderboard and the crazy amount of points. Anne is agreeing that it's probably definitely a hack if someone has 2 billion points.
That's true. Definitely a hack. And we know from last week, and guys, if you weren't here last week, what Lad told us from Zynga last week was that their system scans for numbers that are unrealistic, takes those players and groups them together. And that was information he shared with us last week, right, Jennilee?
Yes.
And so since that information was shared to us last week, I'm just repeating it. So I'm not divulging any other stuff out that has already had before. So, and he also said that if you think you've been put into an unfair group, or if you keep getting put into unfair groups, to email or send in a ticket. Didn't say it would be fixed. He just said to send in a ticket. So that's like major news as well. Last week I was just freaking out when I heard that, because that's the kind of thing that it's good to know, right? I think a lot of people may have not chosen to do some of the things that they chose to do based knowing that something like this could possibly happen. But anyways, whatever, to each their own. And if you did, I did ask as well if it could be forgiven, and I didn't really get an answer because he's not sure. But could you email them and say, I really messed up my barn, can you please fix it back to my stuff, or will they kill it, or who knows what? And speaking of which, chatters in the chat room, I've always had this question. I have never met a Facebook friend that has ever been removed from FarmVille. Have you, Jennilee?
What do you mean met someone that was removed?
Well, banned or kicked off. Like, if there's lots of people who play FarmVille, and there's lots of people that have questionable barns, or that hack their score, right? And they're in co-ops, and they have friends, and they know people. And what I'm saying is I've never had a direct contact with anybody who's been wiped. Have you?
Oh, no, I haven't.
So it leads me to believe that instead of wiping people, they just put them in their own groups, right?
Right.
And we know that they put them in their own groups because we were told that. So maybe they say, so if you have one in your leaderboard, like, so for example, just because I don't have any, or maybe I should check it, just because I don't have any crazy numbers here, let's say that Melissa L decides to use a hack and put her score at 1 billion points. So, you know, that could happen. And if I'm in the 1 through 5 position and I finish at 6, well, I would send a ticket in asking to be compensated because, and I don't know if they would, but I'd definitely ask that. But if I did complain, they may scan this leaderboard of mine and take these players and put them in a special group or a separate group so that they play with the people that are like them again. Anyways, I feel sorry sometimes for the people that get put in those groups. A lot of people have unlimited barns, but they don't have the ability to hack their scores, and so they try really hard and they spend all these hours and they don't get it because someone just 10 seconds hacks their number and they're done. So I feel bad. That's like, it sucks, right? But anyway.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, Anne is asking, please report the 2 billion players. That is definitely a hack, which I think is great advice. Like, make sure you're reporting what you're seeing. And then Marilyn also says, I reported a cheater on County Fair using screenshots. The player was removed.
Yeah, and Marilyn actually sent me that information earlier in the week. She said, and I was hoping that she would have had the screenshot of the leaderboard without that player. Like, she has one with that player and then they got removed, and then I wish she would have had a screenshot with them removed. And any of you guys out there, chatters out there, if you have one of those examples where you've reported somebody and then they vanished off your leaderboard, that'd be cool for us to post on the live stream. We can block out all the names or whatever, so we don't have to show anybody's names on the leaderboard, but it would just be interesting to see them blocked out. And again, that's a question we can ask. So I mean, it'd be interesting, but we can also just ask it as well. Anyways. Continue. I'm huffing and I'm puffing.
You're fine.
I think I've lost like 3 pounds from my arms waving around, up and down, back and forth.
Well, there you go. You're getting some exercise.
There you go.
Joni is saying maybe you could ask Zynga why we get the same generic answers when you contact support.
Yes, and I get that too, and I have a hint for everybody who does that. First of all, I don't have any special support. I have to go through the regular channels that you guys have to go through. But I've gotten that generic response back so many times as well, where they say try these hints and tricks, and then they don't work, right? The key is to not just give up. The key is to reply to their email and be very specific and first of all, do what they say to do, so that way you can prove them that nothing has happened. But lots of times what they'll do, I think, and this is what happened with Liz, I think, in our co-op, is she had a Facebook problem and they reset her Facebook account somehow. So even though it looked like nothing happened on her farm, once she ran or did what Zynga told her to do with her Facebook, and it was a matter of logging out of your Facebook app on your phone as opposed to just logging out of Facebook on your game, there was a step or a procedure to it. And so once she did that, it fixed it. So what if you get a generic reply? First of all, when you send a ticket to Zynga, be very specific on what your issue is. Don't ask a million things. Don't, if you just keep it super simple and you say, for example, I'm not getting County Fair, it does not work, right? Then you're done. So, if you put the whole thing about that I was Diamond League and now I'm going to drop to Ruby and I don't want to drop, and you go on and on about all sorts of stuff, I don't know if they're going to give you an auto reply or if they're going to read through it or if they're just going to, how they're going to reply. But I've had amazing success. Jennilee, have you ever contacted support?
Yes, I have. And
I've had amazing success with fixing or answering the questions. We had our mailbox stop working. I see I'm not connected to Facebook, but our mailbox stopped working and we couldn't add members. And I just emailed them. And the next day we had mailbox working again. So we didn't do anything, it just started working. And then I got a reply that said, we've reset your mail and blah, 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 and you shouldn't have this issue. If I still had that issue, I would send another email back. So let me give you an example of what happens to a lot of people. I'm helping a lady right now. Her name is Patricia. Patricia, if you're here, hi. Thanks for joining. If you're not here, I'm talking about you, so maybe that's a good thing that you're not here. Anyways, Patricia said on a forum the other day, I have contacted Zynga, they don't reply back. I immediately replied with, let's get your trouble solved. She said she's been having this issue for 3 years and it's still not working. So I said, let's try to fix it. So I said, send me the initial email you sent to Zynga. I want to see it. So she sends it to me, and you know what it was, Jennilee? It was the login to the forums, the Facebook FarmVille forums. So she logged into forums and she made a post and she explained what her problem was. Then the reply she got was, you need to contact support, here's the link, right? But that didn't get translated into what she was supposed to do, and it just never went anywhere. And, you know, she's had her children try to fix it, and you can't fix it, guys. If you have an issue with your farm, almost 99% of the time, unless it's an installation issue, you can't fix it. They have to do something. So now what we did was it was a Facebook problem that she was having. Patricia was having a Facebook problem. She couldn't get her picture up, and the co-ops were keep kicking her out. And she was having a miserable time because no co-ops would keep her because she couldn't get a picture on. So I said to her, let's get this fixed. So I text her exactly what to say in her email, and I linked her Facebook profile link, which means it shows you who she is, because if you just tell Facebook or Zynga who you are, they may not be able to find you on Facebook. So we sent the link to her profile, as well as the specific problem we were having. Now Zynga's replied with 3 things or 4 things that she needs to do, and the information that she needs to get back to them. So it was very specific that they asked for. They asked for these 3 things, and I have it on my email. I'm not going to bring it up, but now we're in that process of answering that back. So instead of giving up and saying, forget it, it's too much hassle, it's difficult for a lot of people without a lot of technical skills to figure out what they're supposed to do. And so that's why, again, this live stream, we can help you guys with that. If you have an issue and you want to contact Zynga, we can show you how to do it the right way. Anyways, I have to have somebody else playing my farm game, Jennilee, because when I start getting really not emotional, but I don't know what the word is, but I start waving my hands around, and then I stop farming. I'll pick wheat and do milk like I usually do. My mindless, anonymous thing. Okay, so any other chat you'd like to read off?
Yes, let me see. Well, for one, Bubbly said good night.
Good night, Bubbly. It's after 9 o'clock too, so we're probably gonna shut it down right away, but good night. Thank you for joining us.
And then Robin was saying you don't get banned from your first offense. If you're caught with an altered farm, Zynga will put your farm back to the beginning to level 1. If you alter it again and get caught, Zynga will ban you, but players just start a new Facebook and new game. I
see. And who said that?
Robin.
Robin, okay. Interesting. So those are good things to know. And you know, we'll ask the questions anyways and get the official answers. But that sounds reasonable to me. I mean, if they did that, that sounds like a reasonable thing, right, Jennilee?
I agree.
I don't think that would be unfair at all. But I've never met anybody who's had that happen. I wonder if Robin has. That's interesting thing. I mean, she probably has if she knows what happens. So cool. Or maybe too, they change their views, and then the view they have at any one time might be a little different too.
True.
Anyways, cool. That's great information. Thank you, Robin. I need eggs, I think. So, anything else happening in the chat room?
Jean says good night till next week.
Good night, Jean. So yeah, we usually stream for an hour. I know it's a little bit over an hour. We're probably going to end it right away, but thank you for coming, Jean, and we'll see you next week as well. Hopefully you got something out of the live stream today, bingo especially, but that's awesome that you've joined us. Thank you. And I want to say also, too, when I released this information through the Facebook groups, all of a sudden we had a surge in our membership, right, Jennilee?
Just alone since we've been on this show, we've had 4 new requests to our live stream.
Really?
Channel. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Have you been accepting them in?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll do a quick recap. For those of you who are new and don't know what's going on, Zynga has contacted us on our live stream. They've asked us to provide them with questions that they will provide answers to. We're going to compile the questions. You can put them on our live stream site. You can send them to us directly on Messenger, whatever you want to do. We're going to initially, tomorrow morning, send a list of cloning questions off to our contact. And we're going to hopefully get them back for the next week's live stream to read the answers or the official replies. And then during the week next week, all of the questions that you guys else have about how leaderboards work or how county fair works or questions about anything really, we're going to send those all in a large group of questions for them to answer and then release the information as we get it. So that's what we're doing, the new people that are here.
I like it.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fantastic. And there's plans, guys, that I've had. Like, seriously, every day we talk on the chat, on Messenger, and then, voice calls. He says stuff like, I have some amazing news. I need to talk to you. And then I phone him, or he phones me, rather. And it's like, wow. Anyways, it's kind of crazy. I still think I'm in one big, massive dreamland as I pick my cow and feed him wheat.
You pick your cow?
I don't pick them. I pick the whatever. You know what I mean. Here, I'll do my punchline. There. Cool. So, Jennilee, I'm sure it's been a long evening. It's been a long day. I know it has been for me. I had to get up especially early this morning to check a false alarm at work. So I'm a little exhausted. But chatters, if you'd like to say goodbye, this would be the time to start your goodbyes. And did you have any other chat you wanted to bring up before we get into the goodbyes, Jennilee?
Let me see. Joni said, my grandson changed my date on my device without my knowledge. My game was messed up and I had to contact support. I argued with support. They were right and I returned the 100 keys.
Okay, so then she got fixed, right? They fixed it?
Sound like it.
Because I think originally when you could go in the future and then back or however it worked, you ended up getting a bunch of keys for not playing. Like they rewarded you for coming back to the game. So that's good. I mean, at least they didn't be like kick you off and not let you play anymore. I mean, the mistake got made or an accident happened and they fixed it. Mm-hmm. Fabulous. Good stuff.
Jean, Paula, Debbie, Robin, and Angela have so far said goodnight.
Good night. Thank you so much for coming here, guys. Like I said, I'm so excited that we're moving kind of this to the next level, and it's amazing that you guys are all here listening to us and giving us suggestions as well. Has there been a lot of suggestions on chat? A lot of questions?
Yes, there has been so much chat tonight. Holy cow.
Okay, guys, so that's awesome. We are monitoring the chat. Actually, Anne, she's still here. She's actually writing down every single question that you guys have that we want to send to them to get answers on. So that's, yeah, great. Continue asking them on this stream. After the stream is over, though, ask them on the Facebook group, not on a comment on this video.
Frank, Marilyn, Darlene, Sarah, and Melissa also say goodnight. And Joni said yes, they fixed it, but she was livid and she felt like an idiot.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad they fixed it.
Yes, me too.
Yes, and I know that they probably hear a lot of times, they probably hear an excuse. You know, generally I'm sure things happen and sometimes get stuff messed up and it's not your fault, but I'm sure they hear a lot of stories too, right, Jennilee?
Yes.
Like my story.
Well, your stories alone, yeah.
Okay, so really quickly, guys, there's some new people watching. I emailed support with a fake story, and I said that my cows had been slaughtered, or my farm animals had been slaughtered on my road, and made a big mess, and I was devastated, and I asked for keys. And that night, I had actually spent some keys that I didn't really want to spend, and so I didn't ask for those keys back. I just asked for the same amount, and lo and behold, I got a reply from a ticket people, Antonio, I think it was. And he credited me back the keys that I spent that night. So it was amazing. And it was a really long story. It's on episode, I don't know, a few episodes ago. Episode 13, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a funny story. There was people dancing YMCA, and it was just a crazy story, guys. So, but you can have fun. I mean, you know, it was fun for me to do it, and I couldn't believe I got compensated for for my story. They didn't say. He said he compensated me because he said if you spend your keys incorrectly, you should learn how to spend them better. But I didn't even complain about that. I just said I watched this huge epic fail and I wanted some keys as compensation, and I ended up. I guess they probably can't just give you keys for any reason, so he found a reason to give me keys, which was great.
I was going to say earlier too, not that I'm trying to add more time, but when you were talking about the responses that we get from support,
right,
they're probably very generic because that's a legal thing. They probably just can't say certain things unless, like you said, it's a different kind of issue where they need more information, and they probably have to run those through their legal department.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every company has its strategies, and they don't just share that willy-nilly with anybody. What are the what's the strategy in the long run for FarmVille, and what they could say totally we're going to remap the whole key system and make keys less expensive or more expensive, but you don't need as many of them. I mean, they can do all sorts of stuff or plan all sorts of things. They're not going to tell us specifically, but it's the kind of questions that we all seem to have over and over again, like this whole cloning experiment. Like, why didn't you guys tell us you were doing this? Didn't you think there's going to be repercussions? Why are you doing this? What's the outcome been so far? This kind of stuff, right? That we can hopefully get answers to.
Right.
I'm going to sell some more stuff. I'm in second place. I've dropped.
Well, I think it's time to say goodnight, Scott.
All right. Good night, Scott. So, look, I need Cornhusk dolls. There was a guy that posted on the internet today. He said that he needed 60 Cornhusk dolls and 60 sparkling wines. Can you imagine that kind of Marie board? 60 of each, or well, it must have been for Eddie or the Mariner or something. But 60.
That's crazy.
And I replied with, wow, that's quite the party. 60 Cornhusk dolls.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Okay, guys, so I hope we haven't missed any good nights. Jennilee, did you want to say good night?
Good night. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As always, I've had a lot of fun. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Leave your comments, and God bless, and we will see. Whoops, I can't stop it now because I have to find my right button. That's why I was trying to drag on and on, because I'm in the wrong screen. Anyways, everybody take care, God bless, good night, and we will see you next week, hopefully with more information from Zynga. Bye, guys. Jennilee, say bye.
Bye.
There you go.